All right, guys, I'm going to say it on camera. Thanks for tuning in to Wicked Warnings, your #1 source for construction and emergency safety strobe lighting equipment for cars, vans, buses, bicycles, tricycles, SUVs, sleds, jet skis, anything in between, and this beautiful 2022 Ford Super Duty gorgeous white truck. Let me show you everything we did. This is primarily mpower, but let's get to it. Now, what we have here is a beautiful 2022 Ford Super Duty. Now, this truck, although it's beautiful, happens to have a little bit of work ahead of it for snow plowing, which is just fine. You might as well snow plow in comfort, right? What we have on the front of this truck, and we worked together closely with the owner of this truck to try to give him the package that he wanted. I'll go from the front all the way to the back. The first thing you'll notice is in those fog light bezels, we have side mounted a HAW Duo. Now that's normally a hideaway light they put inside of, say, a reverse light, but we like to sometimes mount it like this, where you have an extremely small area you can drill a hole in and back mount a light too. So that's exactly what we did there on that bumper. We drill a 1-inch clean hole, we glue the light in from the back with our TV sealant, and I haven't had any of them fail in all the years I've been doing it. The glue holds them real nice. Just be sure to clean that plastic well with a little alcohol first. The reason I put that light there is because its primary focus is straight up sideways, which I'll show you when I get a side view. It's especially important on a plow truck. The plow truck is always nosing and backing out into traffic at a 90 degree, coming in and out of driveways, alleys, surface streets, etc. So it's critical to have some forward and rearward side only warning on a plow truck. Otherwise, every time you're hanging that blade out in traffic, trying to look over your left shoulder to see if oncoming traffic is going to let you out, by the time you get out enough to see traffic, your blade is usually in traffic. So that's why I'm so focused with plow trucks on that front side warning. Above that, you'll see a 3-inch mpower in amber white. Now we made a custom mount for that, fairly easy to do. If you have a particular grill like this one, the real pretty, I think it's Lariat Ultimate grill, or any of the grills that are like this, that you don't want to drill a hole in and they look like this one, you might want to utilize that. Straight above that, we have another mpower. Now this is a 4x2. It's basically a double stack of a 4-inch mpower in one unit, and we're using a light blocking shroud for that. I mounted it low in the windshield because, to be totally honest, I really didn't like the angle that the light was at when we pushed it all the way to the top of the windshield. The Super Duty has a lot of curvature in its windshield, more than you would realize, and as we raised that light to the top, we really didn't like the angle, but when we brought it back down here, it's satisfactory and it does its job. Next to that, you can see our plug-and-play mirror flasher. That's just a plug-and-play flasher, uses the factory switches, literally installs in 10 seconds, and it flashes those white mirror lights. You can choose all the patterns that you like. You don't have to cut any wires, and again, a 10-second install to get those white mirror lights flashing if your vehicle is equipped. If you have an XL, you might not have those. I do apologize if this video is a bit rushed. I've got 15 minutes before an interview with a new shop technician. So if everything goes good today, my life might get a little bit easier, and I might be able to do a little bit more of these videos for y'all if I can finally find a couple sets of hands here to help replace mine. So, side view of this truck. In the badge, that's another mpower. Typically we use our Thin X there, but in the interest in keeping everything cohesive, I went ahead and used the same 4-inch mpower that we mounted on the step. Customer requested center and rear step bracket to go along with the badge, kind of make a little trifecta there. So that's what we did. We synchronized them all. That is a pattern called intercycle. You can see how the badge and the back step are in sync with the center, and they alternate back and forth. Now, flood white has indeed been enabled for the badges and the steps as well, so we can get a little bit of side warning if we want it. I misspoke there. Side flood is what I wanted to say. Now, the reason that I put that on its own switch, and the reason I did not tie in particularly that front bumper or that rear, which you can just now see, the rear 3-inch all amber mpower, was because if he wants his floodlight on, I did not want him to lose all of the warning that he was having, and I especially didn't want him to lose that front bumper or that rear warning, because those again are critical when you're snow plowing. So we have auxiliary switch 5 set up with a fuse dropped down to 5 amp to run the side lighting on this. That's your badges and your 4-step lights. And again, that's off auxiliary switch 5 using our fuse kit to fuse it down. I would never hook this up directly to auxiliary 5 on a 40 amp factory fuse. That's an awful lot of power going to these small LEDs and highly unnecessary. If you ever got in an accident and you happen to pinch and short a wire, you don't want to put 40 amps of power through an 18 gauge wire, have it short to ground, because that spells fire. So we really want to keep the fuses appropriately sized for your load on everything. I sell a fuse kit, and we use them all the time on these Super Duties. Even sometimes I'll drop down the 20 amp fuse to a lower one. I like to use the fuse kit because, as of filming, Ford does not offer the auxiliary switch fuse in anything under 20 amp. I have not been able to find it. If you got a solution, send it to me. I'll buy a few hundred and I'll keep them in the shop. But from what I can see, the only lowest fuse from the factory that'll fit is 20. So I put an additional fuse holder on the output line and sometimes drop that down to as low as 5 if necessary. To check that, I use my Unity meter that's on my website to double check the actual real amperage draw. It's a clip over meter, and it's worth its weight in gold because it tells you exactly what the real amperage draw for any of your accessories are. I love it. Now I'll talk just a little bit about the breakup of the switches. I turned this all on when I started the filming, but switch number 2 is in fact the front grille lights facing forward all by themselves. I did that because those may become a little annoying, bouncing off the plow back and forth, back and forth. So switch number 2 controls only the grille lights. Switch number 3 controls the 2 windshield lights as well as the white mirror. Now, I did that by a custom modification on the P&P. It's very easy. If you order a P&P and for the white mirrors and you would rather control it by your auxiliary switch, it's easy enough to just clip the purple and blue wire away from the green connector and repower that wire feeding into the module from your auxiliary switches. Again, that's the purple and blue wire for flashing and flood. Email in if you're confused, but that's how I set that up. Switch number 3 will do the windshields and the white mirrors, and that's, again, same reason. He might want to turn that off while he's plowing. He might want to leave the grill and just kill the windshield and the mirror, because that's the white mirror is also gonna be bouncing forward off the snow. I wanted to give him that ability. Switch number 4 is gonna run all the rest of the warning, which is your front bumper, your side steps, your rear taillight bezel, your under gate you haven't seen, and your rear sound off bezel you haven't seen yet. It's gonna run all of that. Switch 5 is my side flood, and switch 6 is my rear flood. I know what you're saying. Ford's got to put like 20 switches in this trucks. We're running out of switches, right? I get it. Let me show you a little bit more of the side. Now, unfortunately, there literally is a car right behind me here, so I can't quite get the angle I want to show you the front and the back because there's a bunch of SUVs in my way right now. But this is going to give you a good side profile without the front bumper. If I slid to the left a little bit, you could totally see the front bumper, but this is what we're going for. A nice full front to back warning on the sides. I think we hit it off pretty well. That's a little bit of a zoom in. You can see how well that rear light is working right there, and you can also see how well the badge lights work. Moving off to the side a little further, you can begin to see the chase light by Sound Off. It's a bezel kit that goes next to the third brake light. It used to be manufactured with an intersector light. It is now remanufactured with a 4x2 mpower. Why, do you ask? Because it's better. It's bigger. Everybody loves these new bigger portions, so bigger is better. That's a little Cloudy with Meatball reference. Anybody get that? Anybody? Bueller? Anyways, so that's an amber white chase light up there, and it's just called a chase light because Sound Off sells it with an all white light, but you can get any light you want for it. So it's a chase light bezel with a custom 4x2 mpower. We have it in stock, as you see, and here's a little better look of it in the amber white. If you need any other different color combination, feel free to hit us up. Working our way down, you can see our auto flasher module and the factory reverse lights. That's a no-cut module. No factory wires were cut. No factory function is lost. The reverse still works perfectly fine when you turn off the strobe lighting. So, below that, we have that mpower 3-inch underneath the tail here. That's just a side-facing all-amber mpower to complement that all-amber low-dome haw duo in the front. And below that, even further, is our Thin X strip. I'm going to zoom totally out backwards here so you can see the 28-inch Thin-X strips that we used. Now that does require you to remove the tailgate handle brace that's on the right-hand side. It's a couple of T40 Torx. I've removed them from hundreds of trucks and I've never had anybody have any issue. So the two little brackets on the right-hand side, you can go ahead and remove those because you're putting lighting across the whole bottom of the gate. And if you're going to use a 28-inch strip like this, you will need to remove that center DOT plastic filler piece. This just allows you to use the bigger, larger strips the way that I've done. I like to push them out to the edges a little bit like I did here. You could feel free if you would rather fill the middle and leave a little gap under the taillight. You could do that too. It's a 28-inch strip. Two of them pair up very nicely underneath the tailgate here and allow you to give any display pattern you want, whether it be a slow alternation or a very loud in-your-face pattern like this. Again, this is a plow truck. So I wanted an in-your-face pattern while he was backing up because after being a veteran plower for about 10 to 15 years myself, I completely understand backing up is the worst danger. That is where most of the issues happen. So I want to make sure the back of this, it was very bright, very noticeable, and short of putting a siren on when you put it in reverse, and this is about as good as it gets. Now around the back, of course, customer request, we have the flood mode enabled for the upper 4x2 mpowers as well as the Thin-X strip below it. This is going to produce a significant amount of light. However, it is a bright sunny day today, so it's really not going to be all that noticeable here in the shop. It easily lights the bed. It easily lights, I'd say, about 15 to 20 feet around the back of the truck, but this is not a rigid 50-inch off-road bar. This is a 4x2 mpower and a Thin-X strip. Be realistic about your expectations on the floodlighting. It's still a small light, and it's not a purpose-built floodlight like a Baja Designs Squadron Pro or something like that. So no, these lights are not going to light up a football field, but they are going to easily fill your entire 4-car garage with light, is how I would describe this one. The Thin-X strips alone are more than enough to fill a 2-car garage with light. However, with the upper 4x2 mpowers, I'd say a 4 to 6 car shop, you'll be able to light it up as you back in without a problem. Alrighty, so here it is flashing again. Goes right back into sync. You can go on and off a flood, no problem. This truck also got my most favorite plow truck tool. The Whelen 100-watt public address with air horn simulator system. It is an electric PA system. 100-watt speaker, microphone, and that all well-known buzzer tone. You know, that tone that the cops used to do behind you when you were like 16 to scare the piss out of you. And when they want to move traffic and make everybody nervous, they hit that buzzer tone. That's what we got on the PA system. And that's what I can put on anybody's civilian vehicle if they want. It's not illegal. Anybody can have the buzzer tone. And I'll take you inside here and kind of show you what I mean. Up in the auxiliary panel, which this particular client said I can't put labels on it. He broke my freaking heart. You don't want my labels. Okay, fine. You don't have to have them. So here, this aux 1 is your buzzer. Take a listen. So that's how you get aux 1 to give you that buzz. Now, working our way down, I left the mic clip here for the customer. He's got his plow here. I'm not sure if he wanted to put it here to match or not, but we pulled it out here exactly where the plow was. And of course, we have this awesome microphone, and we can talk very, very loud if we want, so it's very cool. Let me show you where we mounted this. Now, sometimes I've mounted them here under the driver's seat, but on this 2022, we got a pretty big air tunnel heading to the back feet to keep the back seat warm on your foot. I didn't want to take that out and mess with it. On the GMs, there's a lot more room here, so this area was a little bit off to me. Also, plow truck, muddy, snowy, wet boots, electronics, wet, electronics, wet, electronics, no. So what we did is we went ahead and moved it over here, and it's mounted right back here. Now, I'm not a fan for screwing through the floor when you don't have to. It's not like this thing's going to go anywhere. We put some electric or some Velcro on the back of it, so it grabs the carpet quite nicely. And here's the unit, nice Whelen PAP. We put it here. We ran some nice flex loom cable. We ran the wiring right back here under the carpet. Got a nice enough slack to get that out, work on it, do what you got to do. All the wirings ran under here. Of course, we had to pull this middle panel out, run all the wiring through there. No biggie. We wanted it to look good, so that's how it is. Alrighty, I'll take you back around front for 1 second. So I'm going to put some notes in the description about how we put it together. As far as the wiring, we're going to put everything we can in a kit for you. You can buy pieces of this or the whole thing, depending on what you want. But if you'd like to replicate this entire thing, we are going to put all the parts and the wire and the pieces that we needed. But I must stress right now, I must stress with great importance that you need some 12-volt experience to put this stuff in. This is not a bumper-to-bumper, A to Z, every connection already made for you, plugs together so a toddler can do it kind of kit. This is a kit that somebody who has put in a car alarm once, or put in a remote start, or at least has done a few car audio installations would be able to install. This is not something that somebody who has never touched an automobile should be picking up and trying to do. This is far too advanced for that. If you have that instance, email in, we'll try to find something better for you. Otherwise, if you like everything you saw here, check the description, make sure you read everything about it, and any questions at all, go ahead and email us before you order. Don't email me when the truck is all apart in the shop and the customer's mad because you've already had it for 3 weeks and it's all screwed up. Email me before you order, and let's go over it then. Alrighty, last thing I'm gonna do, shop phone. I'm gonna wave by in the mirror right now, and you can see the SUVs that are in my way. Gotta answer the shop phone. Thanks for tuning in to Wicked Warnings. I'll see you on the next video.